So welcome back to Khan Cloud Academy, and let's start with our Ansible course. So as previously we seen, in our previous video, we talk about Ansible, how Ansible work, how Ansible pull or push, but the main part of this Ansible course is we have a little bit good knowledge on and YAML scripting as well. So I will continue more on the YAML side. So next topic in YAML was process. So YAML, as you know, the follows as a standard procedure for process flow. The native data structure in YAML includes simple representations such as nodes. It is also called as representation node graph. So you can see in this graph, the information in YAML is used to two ways: machine processing and human consumption, right? So suppose a native data structure, programming data represents a representation node graph, tags, mapping, sequence, scalar, canonical string values, serializations, inventory like anchors, aliases, and keywords. So this is how you can compose, parse, present, construct, and represent, reserialize, right? So this is what we have to, this is the basically a node kind of graph, right? Process flow of YAML. So this is the process flow of YAML top to bottom, right? So if you talk about, YAML, so yeah, we can also a little bit first complete this part, then we will talk about using the ChatGPT, right? We understand these things. So it includes mapping sequence, a sequence and a scalar quantities, which is being serialized to create a serialization tree. With serialization, the objects are converted with a stream of bytes, right? Okay. So YAML process, as you know, YAML includes a serialization process for representing data object to serial format. The processing of YAML information includes three stages: representation, serialization, presentation, and parsing. So what is representation? YAML represents the data structure using the three kind of nodes: sequence, mapping, and scalar, right? So what is sequence? Sequence means you refer to the order number of entries which maps the unordered association of key value pair. It corresponds to the Perl or Python array list. Same way. So this is the product, key value, the first thing, key value. So this is the different kind of block you can say. And this is the different kind of block. SQ, this quantity one description here, like that, right? So next is the mapping. So mapping on the other hand represents the dictionary data structure or hash table. So like batch limit, thread, where you use a colon, so colon kind of things. Okay, this is what we have to map something with this. Okay, scalar represents standard values of string, integers, dates, and automatic data type. Note that YAML also include node which specify the data type structure, right? So yeah, representation. So this is what the sequence, mapping, scalarization, right? So let's talk about a little bit on this. So serialization process is required in YAML that uses human-friendly key order and anchor names. The result of serialization is a YAML serialization tree. So you can see this. It can be reversed or produce a serial number of event called of YAML data. So consumer colon. So consumer have a class attributes, and then its attributes, filters, customer dot search, customer dot order, customer dot boolean. Collection operation, get, method, moralize. So under the get, you see these are the this is how they are we have to represent. So the all our processes, if you are an Ansible, code developer, or you're going to doing some automation, your thought process is very clear how you're going to maintain your codes, or how you're going to write your code from to bottom order, because of particular entity, how you're going to serialize this, represent this, or process this, right? Or map this. Okay. Presentation. So the final output of YAML installation is called presentation. It represent a character stream in a human friendly manner. Human friendly management, I mean, anybody can just understand this, your code, what is going to do on the next step. So YAML process includes various presentation details or creating a stream, handling indentation and formatting content. Okay, parsing. Parsing is the inverse process of presentation. It includes a stream of characters and creates a series of events. It discards the details introduced in the presentation process, which causes serialization events. Parsing procedure can fail due to ill-format input. It is basically a procedural to check whether YAML is well formatted or not. Okay, so let's start from the three dot and end with the three dashes and end with the three dot. Environmental production, there are the classes, NFS, server, export. So this is, you can say YAML is well formatted or not. So you have to check this. So YAML syntax character we have to remember, or maybe we doing some coding or like that. So this is the characteristic is mentioned in these slides, and accordingly we have to work on it. So underscore, it denotes a block or sequence entry, right? Question mark, it denotes a mapping key. Colon, it denotes a mapping value. Okay. Comma, it denotes flow collection entry. Brackets, start a flow sequence, end with the flow sequence. So this is all this mentioned here, curly braces, it starts a flow mapping and end with flow mapping. Hash, it denotes the comments, and I. And it denotes nodes on anchor property. Star, it depends, it denotes alias nodes. Okay. Exclamation, it denotes nodes tag. How are you going to tag it? Okay. Pipe, you can say it denotes literal block scalar. Less than, it denotes a folder block scalar. Single quote surrounds a quote flow scalar. Double quote surrounds double quoted flow scalar. Percentage is denotes the directive use, right? So YAML syntax. So example shows the characteristics use the syntax, right? So this is how YAML 1 or something you're going to start, right? And three this is start, and you keep writing map sequence 1 2 3, whatever it is. Okay, so everything in this, all this, all the the mark on the previous slide as told is it is mentioned here in this particular. You can say the program, the YAML script. You can say, right? Okay, so we little bit talk about product parameters, indentation spaces, separation spaces, ignore line prefix and line folding. So let me show you some example of YAML scripting with the help of ChatGPT. All right. So ChatGPT, or you can say the AI, OpenAI, you can use and see it. So okay, let me type here. So I just typed here my Ansible YAML playbook. So you go to ChatGPT and just type Ansible YAML. So certainly Ansible uses YAML and language for its configuration. It's clearly written here, right? I'm not going to make anything. Files, playbook, and inventory. YAML is a human-readable data serialization format that is commonly used for configuration file because of its simplicity and readability. Right? Below is an example of an Ansible playbook within the written in YAML. So you remember this YAML 3 dash dash dash. It's a start from here, right? And this is the first entry name mapped with example playbook. What is it? So what about the example you have to play? Host, maybe your host server is a web server. Become, yes. Now you map these 3 points, right? So this is the, what is the task you're going to do? So task name, maybe task one, or under the tasks, you have to using many tasks. So this is the one task, one block, right? This is the one block under the task. Ensure Apache is installed. So yum module is using a name httpd and state is present. So that's what is the process of installation. Name, here you can write in the second block. Ensure Apache is running. So what are you going to do? This is the service kind of things. Okay, this is the module, but this is the service. So name is httpd and state started. Enable, yes. Right. Same if you're copying something. So copy index.html file, source and destination you have to give, and notify start the Apache. So these are the blocks and entry you have to understand. This is mapping the copy, but copy mapped with three things: source, destination, and notification. Same way for the services as well, right? So this is the key value, which is the mapped, right? Handlers, name, restart Apache, service TPD, and state started. So this will give you the kind of, and also it's given the name, described what the task of playbook role it is, hosts, spell the host name and group of the playbook. So same if I type, more YAML example, right? So it will give us. You see, it's now I started writing the Nginx. So this is very easy. You can get the references, but always sure when you are trying to use ChatGPT and making some YAML file, you must sure about your current project requirement, and accordingly you have to mark or change the version of the particular software. From where you're downloading the artifactory kind of things. Okay, so this is why we have to think like that. Okay, just everything it will help you to work on this. Okay, so this is how ChatGPT usable for this. Okay, so okay, just talk about what is YAML scripting, right? Let's see what is go. Let's give you all the definition, right? We define the packages, both the abundant centers. Okay, so here YAML is a okay. So it's talking about the YAML, but I'm directly coming to the Ansible. Include the Ansible can include some scripting like constructor. So example playbook with loops and condition web server. So we will talk about loops and all everything in our coming picture. So task install required packages based on the OS type. Packages mapped name items curly braces in state present loop लगा दिया यहाँ पे. You see it here. How is using the lab. Loop packages when Ansible distribution is equal to Ubuntu. Install required. So this is how we're going to create YAML scripting, and you just copy it and go to your editor and start, changing your codes. So this is what is going to be very easy for you. But again, ChatGPT is not going to help you the exact thing what you required. You have to be very sure what you're going to do on your current project requirement on whatever the Ansible YAML you're scripting you are writing in, right? So and anything else we can talk about is here. What is YAML processes? So it will tell you configuration file, data specialization, automation tools, documentation, APIs, interchanges format. So little bit, guys. I mean, you have to dig more on the Ansible, not Ansible, only the YAML script example you can say for YAML only. So let me see what it shows us. Yeah, okay. So that's what you have to understand these things. Okay. So YAML itself is not a scripting language. It's a lacks the capability of conditioning logic, loops, other programming construct typically associated with the scripting language. However, you can still create YAML file that describe data structure, configuration, and static content. Here is a simple example of a YAML file. So what is this? Suppose employee's name I have to put. So name, I put first name. So some name is means this is the identity, right? And what is the identity is? His name is John. So now I'm talking about his attributes, or I can array as well. So this is kind of the similar way you are serializing, right? So name, position, department, and age 30. So this is end. It's all about this dashboard tutorial here. It's all about John Dio. So this is the one employee. But if I'm talking about the second employee, John Smith, I have this details. Same way I have to put the same way you have to use in Ansible. The tasks 1, 2, 3, and what are different things. Okay, so that's what you have to keep in your mind. Okay, if I say more example, it will give. But you will enjoy the learning here, right? Now I'm moving up and let's little bit see what the result we found on the chat GPT. Okay, so some certain more example. Certainly here are a few more demonstrating different use cases of the YAML. So configuration file. Suppose I am writing some server, talking about some server. So what is the port, 8080, host, localhost, debug, and databases, my databases, admin, and password. So this YAML file represents a configuration file for a server application specifying server settings such as port number, host, debugging options, as well as database connection details. List of the items. So YAML defines a list of fruits. So you like fruits, apple, banana, orange. In orange, which type of orange? You can say quinoa, simple orange, or some other attributes. You can under this you have to put and start mapping here. Right. So same way. This is a very basic code. And nested architecture, sorry, structure. So what is the nested person? You're talking about the John Doe and its address and everything. So this is the nested structure, right? Because it's talking about everything at every you can say the name, age, addresses, and you can say uh, the information about it. Okay. Multi-string, multi-line string. So multi-line string means you have to give in the description and you use a pipe. You see this line, a single pipe. So it's represent multistring means the pipe character which preserve line breaks and formatting, right? So this is how it's used. You can use it and describe it if something you're going to a long context about something you are trying to write on the Ansible side. Okay, basically YAML I work on. YAML is very useful in even your GitLab, GitOps tools, your Azure DevOps tools. Not I'm talking about Ansible only. So that's why I'm focusing on. You must know that know the YAML scripting very well because of you have to go with not Ansible. You're going to work on any other tools which based on the YAML scripting, and most of the common tools used by every tool mostly used YAML scripting, right? So that's what we have to do. So mapping and scalar list, that's what I told in my videos, slides I also make for this YAML. So this is the uh, pets, talking about dog, breed, cat, breed, okay. So these examples showcase that YAML representing structured data. This is the structured data, right? And configuration and more. So YAML simplicity and reliability make it a popular choice for various use cases, including configuration file, data serialization, and even documenting, structured information. So this is the structured information. So let me talk about more example on YAML format. You see, now it's coming on the aliases side, inventory side, right? So this is how you have to come this. Scalar with different data type, John, right? And sequence and dictionaries. So this is the sequence. One, two, three, and this is the dictionaries mean name, apple, color, red, blah blah things. Anchors analysis. So common setting, right? So default host, localhost, port 80, server, default, and server one. So it includes basically, inherit its properties. Anchor using the anchor. That is called anchor. This one. So port is 8080. There's a localhost. How many servers we have? Server 1, server 2. Multi-mapping. Multi-mapping means you are using a description, and in the description you have to use title, content, feature, and content. Right. Map with the nested list, also of fruits. So I'm showing a lot of example, guys, and I will suggest you open this chat.openai and start little bit searching on this. If you are familiar with this or not familiar with this YAML scripting, you can go ahead with this. Okay. So this is all about with the help of ChatGPT, right? So now we will I will see you in our next video. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day. Keep learning.